If you've ever...
Right now, and again in the second half...
Welcome to today's show. Before I get into detail about this, you want to see this, no doubt about it, with The Weeknd and Jim Carrey, who many know as the high priest in Hollywood, the high satanic priest there. And I'll get into all that in a second. I just want to remind everyone to check out my other channel, the Blue Background channel, if you haven't. If you like to listen to my content and you listen every day, because I put out content pretty much every day, and if you might miss me, I doubt anyone really would, but if I'm gone for a week or two, it would be because I get a strike. So if you like to listen to the content every day or every couple days, definitely make sure you sub to my Blue Background channel. It's linked below because I am definitely due for a strike very, very soon. Now, I want to talk about The Weeknd here because he has a new song called Out of Time, a new music video, and he has an album that is completely demonic. And it's important to see this because Jim Carrey is in it. It has nothing but Illuminati symbolism. It has nothing but predictive programming telling you about what is to come for humans as humans transition into the next phase, the next evolution, so to speak, as they exit this realm and head into the other realm, the virtual realm, the things I've been talking about. It's stuff you see like with predictive program at Total Recall. You see all these movies where people pretty much go into pods, or they freeze themselves, or they upload their consciousness. And of course The Weeknd's doing it because it's so original. We haven't seen it a million times over, right? And his song is called Out of Time. This, of course, on the heels of his last song, which I covered, which was called Sacrifice, which showed him literally in the middle of a ritual sacrifice. And then he had a second video, a remix version, which showed people levitating and performing satanic rituals. But I'm just the crazy person, right? They're telling you what's coming and that this race, the human race, is out of time. And people just in the comment section, you see it and they just drool over it. So look at this, listen to some of the stuff. And of course, there's reference to the Bible as he talks about dwelling in this house forever. I'll play it twice for you. So it's no surprise that it's Jim Carrey now. Now look at some of the stuff that's in there, right? This is what I've been talking about with how they're going to even market leaving this realm and going into this new, it's, this virtual world. There's no problems. There's nothing to be afraid of. There's, no more trauma. Be free from guilt. Be free from shame, right? As you head, out of this realm into the next one. And then, of course, he says, before you dwell in this house forever, which again is referencing scripture. What a surprise, because that's all these people do. In Psalms 23, verse 6, surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. And that's what they're referencing. Just they're referencing the opposite of it. He's talking about him leaving this realm and dwelling in the house of the Lord forever, their Lord, Satan, because this virtual realm is going to be infinite. It is not going to end. It is going to keep them alive forever with all the programming I've constantly covered where they talk about living forever. How many songs do we know? Do you want to live forever? Live forever, live forever, live forever. Superheroes, right? The superhero programming of being immortal, right? And then the Bible, of course, in the book of Revelation talks about this during the fifth trumpet. Revelation chapter 9, verse 5 through 7. The locusts were not given power to kill them, but only to torment them for 5 months. And their torment was like the stinging of a scorpion. In those days, men will seek death and will not find it. They will long to die, but death will escape them. And the locusts look like horses prepared for battle, with something like crowns of gold on their heads and faces like the faces of men. So this is what they're preparing people for. We've seen all the programming with, not just living forever, but these Total Recall type films where people are going into this utopian type of world by, pretty much it's like Neuralink programming is really what it is for the most part, but uploading their consciousness, that type of stuff. And then you see the masks, right? I've covered the masks forever. We know the masks are in the Illuminati card game. We know that they use masks, right? Everyone always thinks of Eyes Wide Shut, where they go to the party and everyone has the masks on. Well, the masks are significant to the occult because these people wear two faces, right? They live dual lives. They live a lie, for the most part, as they live dual lives. They have their good and their bad. The mask represents that. As above, so below. The two different, their good deeds outweigh their bad deeds. And he's putting the mask on him as he says, they'll dwell in this house forever. And of course, the song is called At a Time. Now, Jim Carrey, like I said earlier, this guy is, as sick as they come. And it's funny because now Jim Carrey is looked at in our society. He used to do like Ace Ventura, Dumb and Dumber. And he's a voice of reason in Hollywood. That's because he's the high priest in Hollywood. He has been for quite some time. Don't you notice all the stuff that he does now? He doesn't do comedy. He's a painter. He goes and gives speeches about life. And he really was pushing this universal new age garbage where spiritualism, which has nothing to do with Jesus, which has, salvation through other ways, which we all know is deception because salvation can only be obtained through Christ. So look at some of this stuff with Jim Carrey even talking about selling his soul to the devil.
If you keep staring in the mirror, you're going to see the devil.
That ramped up quick.
Then I lit some candles and went to town. And that's how I made the big deal.
What's your favorite planet and why?
And that would have to be Jupiter, because it's got that big eye in the middle of it.
No, Jimmy Fallon doesn't know. David Letterman doesn't know.
We don't know.
All the comics and show business don't know what this is. Right? I'm sick and tired of the secrets and the lies. It is the secret symbol of the Illuminati, and you're part of it, and it is the all-mocking tongue.
Martin Scorsese used to be the high priest of the LA group, but 6 years ago he was replaced by Jim Carrey. And, I was just so shocked when I heard that Jim Carrey was involved with the whole thing. I guess the real Jim Carrey was in Living Color, and somewhere after leaving Living Color, joined the Satanism sect of Hollywood, got demons to help him become a better actor and more funny. And so now when you see him acting out his comedian roles, you're seeing the demons that he has work through him. Jim Carrey's daughter is joining American Idol show. I didn't even know he had a daughter. And she wasn't that fantastic of a singer, I guess. But you know what? When the whole season starts with American Idol, they're going to say no. Okay, everybody knows who Jim Carrey is. He's the high priest of L.A. His daughter wants on American Idol. She's getting on American Idol. I would have died laughing if one of them had said no. That would have shown kahunas. So wasn't shocked to find out the number 2 guy behind Jim Carrey in Hollywood is Robert Shapiro, O.J. Simpson, one of his top attorneys. He's the number 2 guy in Hollywood. And also that Al Gore spends a lot of time with the satanic groups in Hollywood because he wants attention. He wants media attention. Whenever he comes out with something stupid like global warming or something totally false and made up and imaginable, he'll get all the media attention he wants for it because he rubs shoulders and eats poop with all these people in Hollywood. Because I asked, what group does he go to? Chicago or Texas or D.C.? And I was told he goes out to L.A. I was shocked. And so, there's big groups everywhere. The Satanists have groups in every city. If you're in New York, you're going to answer to George Soros. He's the high priest in New York.
Who's the puppet master? George Soros.
So, George, Glenn Beck has been on this kick that you are actually the mastermind who is trying to bring down the American government.
Of the satanic cult there. It's George Soros who's replaced David Rockefeller because David Rockefeller is getting too ill. So now you have George Soros, who's the high priest of New York City. If you go to Chicago, you're going to answer to Penny Pritzker. If you go to San Francisco, you're going to answer to Nancy Pelosi. If you go to Texas, you're going to answer to John Paul DeJoria. And so, in L.A., it's Jim Carrey. When you're in a group, you have someone you answer to. John Paul DeJoria in Texas, everybody will know who he is when I mention this. He's the one behind Paul Mitchell Hair Products. In fact, he was a business partner with, I don't know if it was Paul Mitchell director that him and his business partner created Paul Mitchell Products. But he killed his partner when he realized how wealthy he could get over these products. And so he's behind all the Paul Mitchell hair salon products. He's also behind the Patron Ultra Tequila, some kind of tequila alcohol that's out. And so he's made billions off of hair products and tequila. And he is the high priestess of Texas. What's interesting about Texas is that Joel Osteen was just nominated, I guess promoted to be the spirit counselor for the Houston area. And I've told you all these religious people are Satanists, folks, and it's Paul White and Joel Osteen both are spirit counselors for their areas, for their area groups, and they're the ones that are in charge of recruiting and keeping tabs on people inside the group. They help run the group's day-to-day operations. They talk to spirits about what people inside the group are doing. If you're in a satanic group or brotherhood or whatever part, they keep tabs on you 24/7. There are demons who watch you. And if you're not doing something that would please Satan, they report you to people that are in your occultic group. And so, Joel Osteen would be the one that these demons go to and say, hey, this woman over here, she's not doing dirty, evil deeds. And then Joel could report that to the high priest or priestess, and that woman would be in trouble. I mean, you're not free in these things. You're very tightly controlled and watched. And like I said, everybody has a ministry. So this is Joel Osteen's ministry for Satan, being a spirit counselor within the occultic group. And remember, they don't call demons friendly spirits. Or demons. They call them friendly spirits. No surprise. And no one knows how to use demons more than Joel Osteen does. Kenneth Copeland, all of them involved. They all just basically sit back and watch because they've already been through the ranks, already at the top, and they move over to give other people access to positions. I mean, you don't get much worse when you're already so far up at the top that you hear from Satan direct himself. I mean, because I was asking, well, why aren't Bill Clinton or George Bush or Hillary Clinton or Dick Cheney, why aren't these people priestesses, high priests and high priestesses? It's because they already hear from Satan direct. He already speaks to them directly. So they don't have to be a high priest or high priestess. He speaks to them directly and tells them what to do. They take their orders directly from Satan. If you're in an occultic group, you take your orders from the high priest or high priestess, and he doesn't think you've sacrificed enough. There was a conversation where Jim Carrey told John Travolta he didn't have enough sacrifice, so he told him he had to sacrifice his son or his wife, and made John Travolta choose between his son or his wife. One of them was going to be sacrificed. So what did we hear about 2 or 3 years ago? We heard about how his son fell in the bathroom on vacation and died. Yeah, that was John's decision. That was his sacrifice for Jim Carrey and Satan. Because you can only kill animals for so long, folks.
So what a surprise that he's chosen to be the one in the video. Now he's close with The Weeknd, apparently, from what I've seen here, from looking into this video. Or he's a big fan, so to speak. And this is, you're talking about maybe the biggest singer right now in Hollywood or in the entertainment business, The Weeknd. It seems like everybody likes him. The music has like a retro vibe or a Michael Jackson type vibe to it, right? He stays out of the drama in Hollywood, but every single thing he does is nothing but pure Satanism. Sacrifice, out of time. They're telling you in this. This is sigil magic and how it works. So who better to be in there to be the one who transports him to this other realm than Jim Carrey, the high priest of the occult? It's all right in front of everyone's faces. It's amazing that they don't see it, but they don't because they're just watching these things in a stagnant sense. They're just It's like the static on the TV. They're just watching it and they don't even know what they're looking at. And they hear the music, which puts them in a mood, right? They're getting the spell cast on them, so to speak, because that's what the lyrics are. It's a spell, and people don't realize that. And then they're watching this instead of jumping out of it and going, what are they trying to tell me or what are they doing? They label it art. They label witchcraft two different things, art and science. That's what the black magic arts are. They call them art, right? We know that they call black magic the black magic arts, right? They call it in this reality, they call it art. And people are like, no, they're talking about art because I like to draw paintings. That's not what they're referring to, okay? They use it as a means to do this stuff and get away with it because it's expression, right? I remember I was joking around for a while that I should just say that my channel is art, my YouTube channel, because they seem to be getting away with everything possible by calling it art. But of course, obviously, I'm not going to get away with anything here on YouTube because I'm telling too much truth, and that's perfectly fine. Because I'd rather be telling truth than be living a lie like these Satanists are. But art, science, these are things that are involved in witchcraft, the occult, and magic, of course. So that's what he's known for now. He's known for being this artsy guy. He does all these paintings, talks about the Illuminati, talks about the all-seeing eye. And people stood there like, he's a comedian. He's just being funny, call. Nah, sorry, but what do you expect from people in society today? They believe everything that their heroes tell them. This is what Egyptian worship is, right? False idol worship. These are the Egyptian gods pretty much reborn. That's what these people actually believe they are. They believe that they've summoned these demons, these spirits inside of them. They believe that they're Egyptian gods. And then the people of this earth worship them. They worship the ground they walk on, right? And it's idol worship. And these people are grooming them for the pit. So this is the weekend once again with more filth, but more, out of time. What do you think he's referencing in the video? I mean, do people really? Because this human race is out of time. Everything technologically is ready for them to now move to the next stage. They're going to remove humans. And if you do not become transhuman, you are not going to be a part of this race. They are going to eliminate you. The Bible talks about this. And being strong in your faith. That's why you have to be strong in the word and strong in your faith in Christ. And don't give in to this stuff. Be willing to be tortured or whatever may come in the future. It's not coming today, it's not coming tomorrow, but it's coming. And be prepared for it. And these groomers are the ones who are going to lead so many to hell. That's why they've been put in these positions of influence. Like I always say, so many people used to get on me and they'd be like, who cares about what the weekend's doing? We've got stuff going on with Joe Biden or Trump. And I'm like, first of all, the celebrities have the most influence. They're the ones who are grooming everyone to behave this way, to think this way, to have these types of opinions. They're not formulated on their own. They're formulated from the celebrities that they worship. That's why all the celebrities have the same mindset. They're all into the same thing, right? None of the celebrities are pro-Jesus. I mean, give me a break. It's so obvious. It's the same thing as the politicians. They're all actors too. At least the biggest ones on the big stage.